So Lydia, my colleagues and I, we're always thinking about how to effectively use technology in the classroom. A lot of us are instructional designers, educational technologists, teachers, online teachers. We're always thinking about tech, but usually at the higher ed level. You teach fourth grade. Is there any tool or technology you'd like to use next year? And if you don't think you'd be able to, why? What are the barriers in the way in a fourth grade public school, if there are any barriers?
In college, we had to take a course which was using technology in the classroom, and I learned so many countless platforms to use in my classroom. Like, what was one? NearPod was one, Flipgrid, and there were a couple other ones, but I would love to use those in my classroom. My professor even had us like use those, him being a professor, and have us use those platforms to get more familiar with them. It's just hard in my classroom because I work at a Title I school. So if you don't know what that is, that's families or students coming from low income families. So they don't have that technology at home, which is difficult. And I would love to use like Google Classroom. But when it comes to being in the classroom, we're not a one-to-one school. So that means I have 9 laptops and I have 20 students. So most of the time I have them share laptops, or if I could, I'll do a small group with some laptops. But in that case, I found Flipgrid to be super fun because are you familiar with Flipgrid?
Not really, no.
Flipgrid, you can record yourself, like the professor or teacher, whoever it is, could give a prompt and the students respond to that prompt with videos, and they could do it on their own, like at home or something, or they can find a little spot in the classroom and record themselves answering that question. And I feel like that's a lot more, just it makes the shy students, it helps them be more comfortable speaking to a class because they're not like standing in front of them speaking, they're recording something and then sharing it with the classroom. So I feel like that would help with my shyer students. And it's even fun. Like I had fun doing it in my college classes because you could respond to other people's messages or other people's videos with your own video. So I really liked that one, but that's my biggest barrier, is just not being a one-to-one classroom, because not all students have them in the classroom and they also don't have them at home.
So then the 9 laptops, those are the school's laptops, but you only have 9.
Yeah.
What percentage is that? How many students do you have?
20.
Well, oh, so it's almost half. So you have less than 50%. Like you would need 2 people to a laptop. Or at
Yes.
least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we in previously I talked about doing more student-centered learning. This might be a perfect way to do that, where you're
Yeah.
letting them work together, and maybe one leads one day, or 3 groups of 3 or 4. Maybe they have a leader, one laptop. Maybe it could work into your student-centered plans.
Definitely. Have you heard of NearPod before by any chance?
Nearpod, no. Tell me
So
about it.
NearPod is actually so fun. And as I'm thinking of things for me to do next year, like NearPod's definitely in the back of my head as how I can make this work. And I think I could. NearPod is, the teacher has like their own presentation set up, and each student, if I was a one-to-one, but in this case, they would be in pairs or group of 3 or something. They would get their own laptop. So the teacher would just click through, or the student can click through the PowerPoint on their own. But there are like games. They have matching games like for vocabulary, or they have other features to it that just make it so much more fun. And the students can click through the PowerPoint at their own pace and work with their partner to do it. And the teacher really just like circulates. And if they need to, like, they could click through it, but I like it more in the sense that the kids could get the information, but do it on their own and play these like fun interactive games. So that's something that I definitely want to incorporate in my classroom next year.
Awesome. I'm going to put that as a resource. And if you do use Nearpod
Mhm.
and you have some experience with it, maybe you could come back and give us a presentation, or to
Yeah.
just be able to talk about how you use Nearpod in a group of fourth graders with
Yeah.
50% laptops, and
Mhm.
how you did it, how you
Mhm.
used it in your classroom, and maybe you could talk to us about how it went.
Definitely. It was when I was in one of my internships for 5th grade. It was my first observation, and I I think I did use NearPod and it wasn't well. It did not go well. The kids were just playing around with it, not taking it seriously. Have you seen those like virtual I forget bulletin boards where you could put post-its and like answers? Have you seen those before?
Like, yes, I have.
I
I'm trying.
forget it has a name, but I can't think of what it is.
Okay.
But they were just like doing random like questions, like talking to their friends through it. So it didn't go well, but I learned a lot from that because I'm pretty sure with Nearpod there are certain like restrictions you can put on it. So that also helped me learn like a good way to use Nearpod with younger kids. So I could definitely talk a lot about it. I really do like that platform.
I would love it. I would love to
Yeah.
hear how that
Well,
goes.
once I use it, I will get back to you about it because I really want to try.
Awesome. I look forward to that conversation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.